Some of you might feel very, very angry when you're in the thick of a Kundalini awakening, even a spiritual awakening. What is it that is happening inside of us? Yes, we feel the bliss. Yes, we know. Yes, we understand. Yes, we also kind of get it. But we are seething inside. Number one reason that anger comes up during a Kundalini awakening is there is not enough space in your system. There is not enough motion. For there to be space, you will need motion. Your nervous system is being bombarded. Your stress response is at its peak during a Kundalini awakening, which is why if you look at the 8 limbs of yoga, it isn't just about asanas and postures. There's pranayama, but it doesn't start by saying yoga and then the 8 limbs. It starts with the 8 limbs, and after the 8 limbs we say, now you are in yoga. Now that state, folks, when you experience a Kundalini awakening, what is pertinent? Space. What is pertinent? A hollow channel. A channel that is absolutely clear where the Kundalini energy can simply shoot up. If the channel is not clear and there isn't enough space, so everything is clogged up, and usually when there is a level of stagnation, there is a level of exhaustion, you're not motivated, you don't have any zeal, you have no fire. You could be eating things when you're not hungry, or you're eating but these are not the right foods for your system at the moment, and these foods are taking up the space so that the Kundalini energy, so that everything that is needed to create that space is now going into other directions. So that anger comes in when you're not in motion. The anger comes in when Kundalini is stuck, when the ascent has started but she's sitting somewhere because there is something that you have not dealt with, or there is some sort of a deep-seated frustration, that unjust, unfair treatment, where you have not been able to fully come into yourself. And try as you might, you're coming into your full self, but there is something that is still haunting you. You're getting frustrated with the process and you're thinking, well, I've done my healing, I've done this, and I know where I am, yet I'm seething. The other reason, where again it's all a space issue, is when your life circumstances are not seemingly in tune with where you are. When I say seemingly, it only seems that way, but in fact it is. It always is. So when we resist the container, and the container meaning the paradigm you've created for you on the outside, and whatever life it is that you're experiencing on the outside, and the life that we experience outside is that which we become attuned with, and that which has the potential of creating a feeling. It creates an emotion, something that we are engaged with, enlivened with, involved with, and that is what is our paradigm, what is our reality, and what is basically the outside of whatever it is on the inside. Now, when whatever it is on the outside is not fully relatable to you because you feel that you have come up to a certain point in your ascension, in your awakening, and you think, well, I know I'm not all of this. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because whilst you know all of this, for some reason your outside doesn't really seem to resonate with you. It doesn't feel like this is where I really want to be. And the reason why that's just the way it is because it is exactly where you need to be, But when you drop the resistance, you drop the rigidity as to how your outside is going to reflect your inside, and you accept the outside as your inside. So the outside that you're accepting as your inside is that which you are involved with on the outside. You then realize, and you will then know, so this is my inside that is begging for attention. This is the inside where I need to create that space. And perhaps just acknowledging this, that this is where the space needs to come in, will be enough. Usually when we are trying to, you get frustrated. Yeah, you get frustrated. So there is no space. So think about when you are someone who is going through an awakening. So think about, where is this anger coming from? Because it isn't always about your past. It isn't always the fact that you are creating your tomorrow today. It isn't always going to be about that. But when it's particularly to do with Kundalini movement and a Kundalini awakening, now the energy that you have so created is so amplified. Now, how would you feel? Look at a child. How much energy does the child have? Now, if you take a child, a toddler, 4, 5, you put them in front of the television, so they're distracted into that world. Are they going to sleep well? No. Why? Because they've not spent the energy from the energy reserves that they had, and they are probably going to have a really rough night. Because it's not because they are overstimulated, it's because they are not stimulated enough, but they're sitting on this source of energy. So when you're going through a Kundalini awakening and you're going through bouts of anger, some bouts of anger come from imprint, some bouts of anger most likely come from the fact that you have a build-up of energy that is not moving for a lack of space, or you are at a loss of will, you're at a loss of zeal, you're feeling numb, you don't know where to go, there is a confusion. So there is all of these other things that are happening, the mind is taking over, lots and lots of things that are happening. So ask yourself, what can I do right now to bring that space to me? So apart from acknowledging that that is happening, you then bring that space to you by simply being. Simply being. When I say simply being, it is for you to literally take a seat, just sit on the floor, sit on your couch, sit wherever you want, where you can connect with the ground. Don't try to do anything, but just sit, just be in that moment. Be in that moment and give yourself permission to allow whatever is happening around you and to accept it without resisting it and without limiting even your Kundalini awakening to, well, I know where it is right now and therefore my outside should be reflecting in a particular way. Get rid of all of that. Get rid of any ideation, any ideology, any philosophy, any religion, anything that we are creating out of this. This direct experience is absolutely essential. And then you will know yourself where you are, and that anger that you feel will get dissolved once you're able to hone in with that extra reserves that you have. Because when your Kundalini awakens, the one thing that is pertinent is motion, movement. Prana must move, which is why you'll find a lot of people who've experienced Kundalini awakening and who've had a Kundalini rising will engage in dharmic acts. So dharmic acts meaning that you are now not self-serving, but capital S, self-serving of that in others. So it becomes a life of dharma as opposed to a life of karma. So you've come out of that loop. Lots of love. Take care.